These things is tender. Look at that. You can just push right through them. Oh, I'll go up. All right, so this is our pork belly. I'm only gonna cook half for my brother-in-law wanted some burnt ends, so I'm only gonna do half of it. Then I'll kind of shrink wrap the rest for a later date. So I'm just gonna cut this baby right down the middle. And I will give him half, and I will put half up from us. So this side looks bigger. That side looks bigger. So I'll keep this one and give him the bigger one, and I'll keep the smaller one. Oh man. Okay. So doing burnt ends is pretty simple. You just try to cut them as even as possible so they cook even. There we go. I usually cut mine a little wide because they do shrink up in the cook process. So you don't want to just have this tiny little piece. So that way you can get a nice size burn in. There we go. All right. So after you get them cut that way, then you break them down again. They look kind of big, but once they cook down, they will actually be a lot smaller once that fat starts to render out. So that's perfect. All right, let me get the rest of these cut up, and then we'll check in when I'm throwing the rub on. So we got them all cut. So let's go ahead. I'm using some Yardbird. Let's go ahead and get these babies all rubbed up. Basically, you just put the rub on all sides and smoke them. It's fairly easy. Sometimes it's easier to just take each piece and just roll it while you're over the rest of them, so you get rub on them as well. But rather than have to flip them all one by one, I usually just will spin them and get them nice and coated. So I'm actually, one of my favorite ways to do pork belly burn ends is finish them off with a raspberry glaze, and it's just all kinds of perfect. So that's what we're gonna do. Let me get these all rubbed up. I realized I didn't put my binder on, so let me throw some, hit them with a little bit of mustard. And then I'm gonna get to rubbing all sides. All right. So the only thing I seasoned without the binder was the top side, so it ain't the end of the world. Sometimes when that camera turns on, my brain shuts down. All right, so now we got everything all, we got the binder on, the mustard. So now we can go ahead and get these babies all coated. And like I said, this is Yardbird rub. All right, so get you a nice little coat job on, and that's it. And these just will go sit in the refrigerator until it's time to fire up the smoker, and then we'll be getting started. So that's what you want. You want them just nice and coated. Give them a couple of hours to soak in that rub, and then they'll be ready for the fire. So I will check in once we get to Big Shirley. All right, this is our setup. We're about to get this thing fired up so we can cook some meat. Okay, so we got a little fire going. I'm gonna give it, put my fourth log on. Give it about 15 minutes to really catch. Shooting for a target temp of 275. So we'll see what we get out of this. You may have to add more, we may not. Cause it is hot. It was like 100 degrees over here yesterday, so it's getting close to there now. So we may just need this, but we'll see. Later. Right, it's been 15 minutes. We got ourselves a good fire. So let's get it all shut down and see where it lands at. And let me know if I need to add any more logs. Got a few in here warming up. I think those will be enough to make it through this pork belly. And actually, I'm doing one slab of ribs as well. My brother-in-law popped in town and they wanted some barbecue, so that gave me an excuse to make a video. All right, so we'll see where it sits. I'll check back in a little bit. All right, so it looks like this setup got us to slightly below 250. So I'm gonna throw one more log on, and I think that should be enough to get us where we need to be. Cause I'm gonna get these ribs on pretty soon, and the pork belly as well. So we'll throw this small one on here. There we go. So let's see if that'll get us over the 275 mark. And then we'll be ready to roll. All right, so I'll check in a minute. All right, so it looks like adding that one log got us to right at 300, and I'm cool with that. It's gonna drop a little when I open this door, so we can go ahead and get these ribs on. Yeah, man. Get these ribs on, and then I will go and get the pork belly and get that going. I mean, it's already seasoned, as you know. I mean, I need to put them on that rack so I can get them in here. I'd rather keep them on a rack. That way, when it's time to turn them or transfer them, I can get them all in one swoop. Okay, let's go get the pork belly. All right, here is the pork belly. So let's get this all stacked up. I like to put them fat cap up. So as the fat's rendering, it can kind of drizzle all the way over. Oh, that's a big piece. I should have cut that. Oh well. Drizzle all over the meat. So it's just basting itself. So there's the fat cap. So this little rack is clean. I washed it. It's just stained from being in the smoker a lot. So all is good. All right, let me get all these on here. All right, couldn't do this one-handed because this rack is pretty big. So hopefully you can hear me. I didn't set up my mic. So basically we're just gonna sit these right here. Whew. That's hot. Sorry for the dizziness, but yep. So we got ribs here, pork belly here. Time to put it to bed. And I'm also going to be putting some chicken wings on the Joetisserie. So we're doing quite a bit of cooking today for family. You do anything for family. All right, check in later. See ya. Oh yeah, got me a new toy. It's the bug assault. Can kill flies, and this thing works like a charm. So if we're lucky, there'll be a fly somewhere and we can ruin his whole weekend. I would normally clean this off, but we're gonna call this Thunderdome. So if a fly comes to eat, I'll show you how this thing works. Okay, looks like we came down to 260. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw a log on and then give the ribs a spritz and check on the pork belly. Let's throw this big one on here. See what we get. There we go. So we'll give that a minute to get all caught up. That didn't take long at all. So I think that's gonna work. So that's rolling. Let's get her shut back down. I think that should buy us at least another hour or so. So we're at the 1.5 hour mark. So I'm gonna go ahead and give these ribs a spritz. Let's see. Ooh-wee. Pork belly's looking good. Alright, let's spritz these ribs real nice. And then we'll give the pork belly a little spritz. And we're gonna let it roll. That's looking good. So I'm gonna just a little bit darker. And then we'll go ahead and put them in a pan and break them down. So we'll probably give the pork belly we'll check on them in 30 minutes. And see if we got the color we want. And then we can throw them in there. I'm doing a raspberry chipotle. So I'll check in about 30 minutes and see where we at. Okay, so it's time to check on this pork belly, and if it's got a good, oh yeah. All right, so that is looking great. So what I'm gonna do, I hope I got a big enough pan. I got a half pan, so we'll see if they'll all fit. I don't think they'll fit. So we'll put half and one, and if we need to, we will put, yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to get another pan. So my plan was to do raspberry chipotle, but I didn't have enough. So this is actually gonna be perfect. So I'll use half. This half will be raspberry. And then I'll make the other half a sticky Asian zing. So 1 second, let me grab another pan. All right, we are back. So we're doing one side Cosmo's raspberry chipotle and the other side Cosmo's sticky Asian, both rib glazes. Man, I don't know if y'all ever had these or not, but these things are outstanding. All right, there they go. So let's get the rest of these burn ends out. Ooh, yeah, that's gonna be good. And then we'll sauce them, cover them, and then throw them right back in here. Ribs are coming along real nice. All right. Okay, so, oh well. I had to clean the bottles off. Won't be the end of the world. So the left side, we're going with the Cosmos Raspberry Chipotle. I'm just gonna dunk that all over these. All right, so we'll go ahead and move those around. I probably should have poured the other one in before I did this, but oh well. All right, so let's take this glove off so my bottle don't get too sticky. Sorry for all the moving around, but y'all know I'm a one-man band, so everything is done one-handed. So the one on the right, we're using the Cosmos Sticky Asian. We're just gonna drop some in here. There we go. Oh, can't do that. A little shake. Let me toss this real quick, 1 second. All right, so we got the Sticky Asian, Raspberry Chipotle. Let's get them covered up. All right, so now it's time to get set up for wings. Some wings. We're gonna put them on the Joetisserie. Let's get this baby fired up. Shooting for 300 to 350, anywhere in that range. That's what we're gonna do. I just need to get the charcoal started so this thing can start heating up. So when I do wings on the Joetisserie, you know, I got this kick ash basket. I only do it on one side so it's not getting the complete beat down from the heat. You get a chance to come over on this side and kind of chill out a little before it go back in. So let's let this come up to temp, and then we're gonna be throwing some wings on later. All right, so we got this joker dialed in, and it's at 350, but I just shut everything down, so hopefully it'll hang out between 325, 350. And I'm gonna go ahead and get these wings on, because every other 5 minutes it looked like it's about to rain. I just pulled the grills in and now it's clear skies, so welcome to Florida. All right, the wings are on, just rolling and rolling. So we're gonna let these rock for about 45 minutes, and then we'll come check temps and check the color of them. All right, so let's check. I want to take a look at the ribs, and I also want to, ribs are looking good, but not there yet. So I give them a spritz. Let me sit y'all down. Give these ribs a little spritz. All right, so they should be good for the rest of the way. I also want to check to see if these burn ends are tender enough. If not, they get right back up. So what you want is to be able to just squish right through it. I still got a little pull to it. It's almost there. So let's let them roll for a little while longer. Later. All right. The wings are chugging along. It's locked in at 350. I can deal with that. I may bump it down just a little bit. Let's check on these ribs and check on this pork belly. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, I'm gonna call these ribs done. Man, they look good. I don't care who you is, them look good. So let's check this pork belly and see if it's and got good and tender. Ooh, that looks good. Here's the same one that I couldn't break. Oh, Yeah, let's check another one. This little guy, woo. Okay, yeah. See, look at this. It's what you want. You can just push right through it. Ooh, I'm gonna save that little chunk for me. So I'm gonna call this pork belly done. Yeah, you can poke your hand, you can poke your finger right through it. Yeah, woo, that's hot. All right, so pork belly is done. Let's check this is the raspberry chipotle. Let's check on this Asian zing. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, that's done. Good Lord, that's hot. All right, so I got me a couple of pieces to nibble on. Don't tell my brother-in-law. Ribs, nice and done. So I will check back with you guys when it's time to check on these wings. Later. All right, ribs are done. Pork belly is done. Time to check on these wings. Get some temps here. And they looking good. They still smelling good. All right. This one kind of sticking. That's the only thing. I greased it up, so just if you get one of these, you have to grease it. All right, I only got like maybe 5 more degrees to go. Later. All right, got these wings off. Wings done. Pork belly is super tender. See if y'all can see that color on them wings. Yes, sir. I'll take them out to show you in 1 second. See that Joetisserie, it makes a nice crispy wing. Their skin is like almost paper thin, super crispy. Y'all need to get up on that. Look at that. Bite, didn't take all the skin. I will catch y'all on the next one. Later.